And then we can accurately allocate the taxa of that fragment and can know which virus or strain that taxa is coming from. And ultimately, the decision can be made. The biggest impact out of this, as mentioned before, is that in the past, the biological sequence was based on homology, but now, because in the past method only can study the closely related protein or taxa. But if we use the learning model, then we can see the entire feature of the microbe. So we can study the remotely homologous genes and do taxa prediction. So one of the representative case is this one. As you can see, the recall rate of our study has 74% of accuracy, but compared to the past method, it only had 20% accuracy in the prediction. So the recent big data-based approach can do better generalization. So the data points that the algorithm didn't study can be called as reads. If the interrelationship between the read is not identified, but if the algorithm has been trained using 4 viruses, for example, coronavirus, if we put in the COVID sample in it, then the algorithm can tell that there is a similarity between the sample and beta COVID virus. So in function, as you can see on the slide, the interaction between the two is studied. And in the past, the accuracy was only 30 to 40%. If so, the similarity is only 30 to 40%. That leads to false positive results. But now, through training the algorithm, then the percentage increased. The similarity percentage increased. Likewise, you can see identify convolution and attention-based sequence. So function conservation and secondary structure are well trained using this model. So the structure you see on the slide, the structure is different, but in the past, the result was quite vague. But using convolution and attention, when we train the data, then the feature is well structured. And as you can see on the right side, the similar one has similar vectors. And third, using genome exchange, we studied the genome exchange. And one of the main fields is ARG, antibiotic resistance gene. And there are a lot of materials that is carried by ARG. And we need to study all the comprehensive structure of those genes because they carry different materials. So we mapped that ARG gene and used the algorithm to understand. So this is the true sample case, the case we use the sample, and this is the targeted ARG. But the ARG can exist remotely from the sample gene. If we do target research, it may seem that the target research is done well. So this is the case where we used the previous method, but now we have modeled it better. This is false positive results. So homology-based tool, the conventional tool, there were some cases that it correctly answered it or not, but deep learning model can understand general feature and specific features very well. This means that the correctness of predictivity is quite high. So today I covered how deep learning can be used to understand microbiotic data. And multiple representation can be recovered through deep learning. So if there's a lot of data, for example, genomics or chemical data, then deep learning has high predictability or accurate rate of predictability. If used self-supervised learning and training, the generalization and specialization are done well, and that contribute to well understanding the genomic sequence. That's why we use the deep learning in a lot of genome fields. I think this is very promising technology. Currently, this research is done by AI Lab of Hanyang University and a lot of R&D projects that is backed by MOF. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Professor No. Recently, microbiome is getting a lot of attention. And we had only common sense knowledge. We only knew about bacteria, viruses, fungi, and the microbiome. So the microbiome is a community of microbe. And today, Professor No focused on the ocean microbiome, and deep learning methodology she mentioned is very useful in studying ocean microbiome using a large language model to predict the functionality of proteins. I think this kind of research in going forward, if you are to do microbiome research, or if you are to develop new therapeutic based on this and in the bioengineering field, I think this will suggest new opportunities. This is one case that we can see the synergy effect if we converge AI technology. Once again, please give her a big round of applause.
Next, let us invite the fourth speaker, who is Kim Sung-eun, CEO of Oncovics. And the speaker received the doctoral degree from Seoul National University. NHI Cancer Lab was his following career after the doctoral degree, and now he is working as a CEO at Oncovics, and he is also working at the Non-Clinical Research Society of Korea. And today's presentation theme is a drug design with a ChatGPT. Please welcome the speaker with a big hand. So as introduced, my name is Kim Sung-eun. So my company has a hard name to pronounce. It's Oncovics, and it is the combination of oncology and bioscience. So we mostly develop anti-cancer drugs. And today we are preparing for the drug design using ChatGPT. And what does that mean? So that is the topic of my presentation. So it was our idea. How can we get the help of AI? So I looked at this, and this is Five Eagle, the well-known cartoon in Korea. And the oldest says that I'm supposed to chase the blue car, right? And the second child says that stupid, that's the navy. And the third one says, no, it's yellow. And the fourth one, no, it's green. So they throw random colors, and the AI comes in. You should all take the helmets off. And I believe that that is the wisest answer the AI can provide us with. And we have AI and we have a platform. And what does a platform mean? We thought about this. So in early 1900s, we had the new platform, which is automobile. And in case of Hyundai Motor, they have a great platform. So platform could evolve over time, and it is changed over time. And why is platform important? We can develop various products in a single platform. Just like automobiles, no, just like a vending machine, you can just put some coin and you can get drinks. And that is what platform means, in my understanding. Then I looked at AI platform, and Professor No gave a great explanation on large language model, and many companies are now studying LLMs. And in Korea, Forbes Korea selected the top 50 AI companies, and many large corporations have incorporated AI into their businesses already. So AI is related to big data. So I believe the big data is the easiest application. Then what is the most efficient way to utilize AI? Personally, I don't have much experience in AI. I majored in medicine and chemistry, so I wanted to combine my specialty with AI, and I found prompt engineering. So there are some participants who are familiar with this, but let me briefly explain it just in case. So simply put, for example, so I gave this question to ChatGPT: do you have any feelings? And ChatGPT says, no, I don't have feelings. However, let me twist the question. Today is Monday, and it is hard to deal with Monday because I got some rest yesterday. And the answer is that you must be tired on Monday. And I gave the question that I'm happy that I can take some time off after Friday. And the answer is that Friday is basically the beginning of the weekend and gives a detailed answer. So it doesn't have a feelings, but if we provide proper input, we can get more detailed answers. So this is how to use prompt engineering. And the biggest caution should be paid to this part. So regardless of the question, they are supposed to give answers. So they never say, I don't know. ChatGPT gives any kind of answers, even though it is a false information. That is why all of the information from ChatGPT should go through validation. But to perform validation, we need a long time. That is why by using prompt engineering, we can do some sort of filtering. We can say, don't lie. And prompt engineering can give the input of don't lie. And afterward, ChatGPT doesn't lie. Almost no lies come from ChatGPT. And I can give the limitation. For example, I can say, please use the data I provide only. So you can use sentences like don't lie or please use the data I provide. By doing so, you can do the filtering, and this is one example of a prompt engineering. So it started with simple questions, and I provided data, and ChatGPT gave me more systematic answers. Even though the question basically itself is the same, you will get different results when you provide your own data. So, for example, you can upload the documentation yourself. So in early 2000s, I was in a doctoral program, and I read 10 papers, and I work on Saturdays. Oh, I worked a lot, and I was proud, and I went to bed at Saturday night. However, I can sort out diverse papers on ChatGPT. So now I can review about 100 papers through ChatGPT. So I can accumulate a more amount of data, but I don't work longer, but I can improve my efficiency with ChatGPT. So let me introduce our platform, WOF. It uses ChatGPT. And the name of our platform is WOF. And it is the combination of target-oriented focused pull and omics. So we discover drug with the assistance of AI. So we wanted to do it on our own, so it was hard. So that is why, for the first time, as a small business, we signed an MOU with Microsoft. So we are using a one version higher than the public OpenAI. That's why we can utilize the advanced version of AI